Presidential flag bearer Dr. Goodluck Jonathan addresses campaign rally in Uyo. Governor Godswill Akpabio charges labor leaders to adopt dialogue in resolving industrial disputes. Plus, Independent National Electoral Commission in Akwa Ibom to partner political parties to achieve free and fair conduct of February polls. Details shortly. Good morning and thanks for joining us. My name is Augusta Essien. The PDP presidential flag bearer, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, yesterday arrived the state for his re-election campaign rally. President Goodluck Jonathan arrived at the Ibom International Airport aboard Nigeria Air Force jet marked 001 with registration number 5N FGT at exactly 16 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. A.R.N. of Hall, who was at the airport, reports that the First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, and the Vice President, Namadi Sambo, arrived 10 minutes before the President. Here's her report.
The Ibom International Airport was kept alive by groups and cultural troops while waiting for the arrival of the #1 citizen of the country. On hand to welcome the President were Ibom Brass Band, Ibom cheerleaders, ladies dressed in African attire, and different cultural dancers. At about 1 p.m., members of the State Executive Council, senators, ministers of the Federal Republic, and the political class arrived at the airport dressed gorgeously to welcome the President. At 3 p.m., the Nigerian Air Force jet with registration number 5N FGV conveying the First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, and her entourage touched down and were received by Mrs. Ekaito Norma Akpabio, his husband, the governor, and the people of the state. 11 minutes after, the Vice President had arrived with Nigerian Air Force plane number 5N FGW and exchanged pleasantries with Governor Akpabio, senators, ministers, and PDP faithful. At exactly 16 minutes past 3 in the afternoon, the presidential jet conveying President Goodluck Jonathan touched down at the Ibom International Airport. President Goodluck Jonathan was received by Governor Godswill Akpabio and the state's PDP governorship flag bearer, Udom Emmanuel, the state's PDP chairman, Obong Polekbo, as well as the entire people of the state. The Minister for Lands and Housing, Mrs. Akoni Yaranyi, former Minister of Labor and Productivity, Emeka Nwogu, Senator Effiong Bob, and the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Elder Samikon, said they are excited to receive the President, adding that the state will give him 100% vote at the February 14, 2015 elections.
He's coming home. He's not coming to campaign in Akwa Ibom State. He's just coming to tell his brothers and his sisters, I'm here, I'm going back, well done. That is all.
Akwa Ibom is pure PDP. There's no other party here. The Akwa Ibom people love Mr. President, and he's back here today to just have fun. That is still their own man. People are very excited right from the inception of PDP. We have been in PDP 2003, 2007, 2011. We've always been voting for PDP president and PDP governors.
President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, arrived at the International Airport and is heading to the nest of champions to address the people of the state. International Airport, A.R.N. of Hall, reported.
President Goodluck Jonathan says he was not in Akwa Ibom State to campaign, but to thank the people for the support extended to his administration and to call for more of such support in his re-election bid. He was addressing a presidential campaign rally at the Ibom International Stadium in Uyo. Details of the campaign rally will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletins. Governor Godswill Akpabio has charged leaders in the state to adopt dialogue as the mechanism for resolving industrial disputes rather than embark on incessant strikes. He gave the charge while declaring open the 5th Labour Summit in Uyo. According to Livingstone Daniel, the summit had as its theme Movement and Government in Transition, Imperatives for Paradigm Shift.
As a Bureau of Labor and Productivity, Mr. Gordon Udom, that his administration is workers friendly in view of the support the administration has received from the state workforce these past 7.5 years, noting that it cannot do anything that is inimical to their welfare. He reminded them that his administration is paying workers the approved minimum wage, unlike other states, while workers' training and promotions are taken seriously. Governor Akpabio, however, acknowledged that there may still be some labor issue to be attended to. Out that government cannot solve all the problems at the same time as a result of government's lean resources. He appealed to labor to be sincere with government and stand by it on some decision.
Thank you so very much for your love, for your understanding, for helping to transform a pedestrian state to become a state everybody wants to visit. Today, I don't think anybody in Nigeria will commonize a private person. When they speak about a private state, they speak with dignity, they speak with love. People want to come here because of you.
The head of civil service, Mrs. Cecilia Odaisian, represented by Elder Iyaku Mana, said she is at the summit in solidarity with the leadership of the NLC and TUC. She assured labor leaders and internationals that all government papers and circulars will be implemented. The state chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Onimosara, explained that the Labour Summit was organized to bring heads of industrial unions in the state together to discuss issues and facing workers, as well as take decisions capable of enhancing the welfare of workers. He listed reforms on the contributory pensions, National Housing Fund, integrated payroll system, implementation of personal income tax, and NOGE and NUT strikes as some labor issues the summit will tackle.
I want to thank His Excellency the Governor for buying into this innovative model of reducing industrial conflicts and consistently giving support to the labor movement in this regard.
Livingstone.
The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC) in Akwa Ibom State has unanimously adopted the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate Mr. Udom Emmanuel as the workers' choice for the February polls. This follows the motion raised by the chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Polytechnic Staff Union, Comrade Paul Ibarra, during the 5th Labour Summit in Uyo. Again, Daniel reports.
His adoption as the workers' choice to govern the state from May 29, the PDP governorship candidate Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel was given an opportunity by the leadership of the NLC and TUC to roll out his plans for the state workforce if elected as governor.
If they are becoming governor, I will expand the rule of labor productivity to include manpower plan. And I sincerely meant that. Because you see, your background has a lot to do with your self-development. I started my life the day I finished from school, from where we did not sell pepper. We didn't sell pepper. We didn't sell any tangible thing. The only thing we were selling were the brains of human beings. So I'm one man that can appreciate the importance of labor.
Shortly after ruling out his plans for workers, the governorship candidate was further subjected to another round of questions, especially issues relating to workers' welfare. After carefully listening to and convinced by his sincerity of purpose, a motion for his adoption was raised by the chairman of Akwa Ibom State Staff Union, Comrade, and seconded by member, wife of Labour Association, Mrs. James Inam. A voice vote was by the chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Onyemosoro, for affirmation.
Sir, on behalf of my colleagues, the entire Labour movement, Comrade Paul Ibara, hereby move, let it be moved that the Labour movement in Akwa Ibom State, made up of the NLC, the TUC, the informal sector, and every other person whatsoever that engages in productive activity, have this adopted you. It's the motion that Udo Emmanuel is the only project.
AKBC 45 News understands that an invitation was extended to other governorship candidates to present their plans for workers at the summit by the NLC and TUC, but they all failed to honor the invitation. Livingston Daniel, Rape.
The Deputy Governor, Lady Valerie Bey, has felicitated President Goodluck Jonathan on his visit to the state as part of his campaign tour of states for his re-election. Lady Bey was addressing reporters in her office. Colonel Edem Efreti, who was at the session, now reports.
Lady Bey described the president's visit to the state as homecoming, as he is considered a son of Akwa Ibom State, not just for being from the South, but for his passion for the development of the state. The deputy who gave many reasons should be re-elected, said his campaign of Akwa Ibom State was a formality, as the people were ready to give him an overwhelming support at the polls. She also felicitated the Vice President Namadi Sambo and the National Chairman Alhaji Adamu Mwazu, as well as members of the presidential campaign team. She promised they will not disappoint the president and his team at the February 14th.
The people of Akwa Ibom State love him, and we believe that he will surely make it a second term. Without him, it may not be well for Nigeria. He has to at least complete the second term so as to complete all his developmental strengths, which he has already started.
Lady Bell reflect on Governor Akpabio's exemplary leadership style, commended the governor for complementing the transformation agenda of the president with his programs. She thanked the governor for demonstrating his love for the state and its people through the landmark achievements he has left on communities across the state. The debate also commended Governor Akpabio for playing a good host to the president and his team, and for joining hands with the to rebuild the country. Colonel Edem Efreti reporting.
The Board of Directors of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation has welcomed President Goodluck Jonathan and his campaign team to the state. A message signed by Engineer Dongisat Philip on behalf of the AKBC Board of Directors congratulated the President on his numerous achievements and good governance, especially in improving electricity, combating security challenges, and ensuring unity in the country, noting that the successful campaign rally in the state is a testimony that the people accept him and will vote for him during the next month's general elections. The statement also congratulated Governor Godswill Akpabio for successfully hosting President Jonathan and his entourage, as well as appreciates his administration for providing what he described as people-oriented projects in the state. You're watching AKBC 45 News at dawn. If you're just joining us, we told you earlier that the Deputy Governor, Lady Valerie Ebeh, has felicitated President Goodluck Jonathan on his visit to the state. We also told you that the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress in the state have unanimously adopted the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, as the workers' choice for the February polls. When we come back after this break, we have more news for you. Please do stay tuned.
Udom Gabriel Emmanuel is elected as the flag bearer of PDP for the gubernatorial election come 2015.
By the grace of the Almighty God, I hereby give you the flag of the PDP, Udom Emmanuel, to fly this in Akwa Ibom State to come back as the governor under PDP, our flag. Thank you. May God bless you and give you good success.
Udom is right. It's right and fair, for Udom is the best. For Akwa Ibom said, Udom is right, it's right and fair. Behold our next governor.
Welcome back. The people have collectively taken a decision to take active part in the forthcoming political dispensation by not playing opposition. To this end, the people have resolved to support the PDP governorship candidate, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, to emerge as the next governor of the state. Addressing a cross-section of the Uyo Elders Advisory Committee, the chairman, Sir Valentine Atta, advised the people to unite for the purpose of being in the mainstream of the politics of the state, which he said requires the people of Uyo to team up with Governor Godswill Akpabio to hand over power to Mr. Udom Emmanuel as the next governor of the state for equity, fairness, and continuation of his uncommon transformation drive. Dr. Atta disclosed that Uyo elders have begun house-to-house campaign to canvass support to deliver 100% vote for Udom Emmanuel from eligible voters in Uyo.
We are here to tell government that our local government and our people are not in any opposition form at all. We are one, and that's why we are here. Whether you were in Oba, whether you were in Dato, Uyo is under one PDP umbrella.
Secretary of Uyo Elders Advisory Committee, Chief Clement Ekot, described the timing of the meeting as apt, noting that the people of Uyo cannot afford to lag behind again because of its past mistakes, describing their action as the best thing to do. Chief Ekot commended members of the committee for coming together to chart a way forward in 2015. Also speaking, the pioneer chairman of Uyo local government, Obawanye Fiaowa, urged the people to support the PDP by voting for President Goodluck Jonathan as president, Udom as next governor, and all PDP candidates in the state.
My feeling, look, they support this government. Support the year, I hear it can. I might go in the neighborhood. This is what the program we have to make. Is that better than this? Yes.
All of us here, Christians, I put a man and we come from a paper all over. In case of bomb, move on.
The chairman of Uyo local government, Prince Ekerete Ekpenyong, said as a political unit, Uyo will derive maximum benefit if it follows the direction of Governor Godswill Akpabio. Prince Ekpenyong implored the people of Uyo to act wisely.
Uyo will be good when all of us will say and stand and believe in truth. Uyo will be good.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is to partner political parties on the state to achieve free and fair conduct of next month's poll. The resident electoral commissioner in the state, Barrister Austin Okojia, stated when executive members of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, visited him in his office. Iyanopol reports.
The Inter-Party Advisory Council is a body made up of representatives of political parties and was constituted in the state on 29 September 2014. The board has 7 executive members with the state chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Obong Paul Ekpo, as chairman. Addressing the meeting, the IPAC chairman, Obong Paul Ekpo, said they were on a visit to sue for cooperation in regards to the federal elections, having in mind that the commissioner is new to the state. Obong Ekpo said the conduct of credible, free, fair, and violence-free election cannot be achieved without political parties educating their supporters on the need for them to maintain peace. He lauded INEC for steps taken already in sensitizing stakeholders on their plans and asked that they should partner political parties and get them involved in their activities.
We have very serious to partner with you, not in this period that we need to educate a lot of our members.
Responding, the resident electoral commissioner, Barrister Austin Okojia, appreciated IPAC for their concern for peace and promised to partner with them to have free and fair conduct of elections in the state. Barrister Austin said most of the challenges INEC has, like the distribution of PVC, has partially been solved, noting that INEC is ready to conduct next month's polls. The state INEC boss said out of 1,464,780 PVCs supplied to the state, 1,388,414, representing 95%, have been distributed. Barrister Okojia also revealed that 3,600 ballot boxes, 3,828 INEC bags, and PVCs for those who came for continuous registration process have also arrived.
IPAC is aimed at promoting interparty dialogue among all registered political parties, with a view to contributing to a violence-free, fair, credible, and transparent electoral process in Nigeria in general, and Akwa Ibom State in particular.
Some members of IPAC suggested the formation of IPAC subcommittees on the issue of members of political parties who staged a protest when INEC met with them at a stakeholders forum on January 27, 2015. The IPAC chairman, Obong Paul Ekpo, said,
what happened there is that probably a candidate came back from a rally and walked in and heard Paul Ekpo, and Paul Ekpo being the chairman of PDP, they felt that I was taking undue advantage over other political parties.
Stakeholders in the transport sector in the state have described a newspaper publication credited to the Joint Tax Board purportedly restraining motorists from paying all forms of taxes to the state and local government as false and baseless. Speaking on behalf of the stakeholders during the peaceful protest, the advisor to the group, Mr. Roland Obot, said the publication is not only illegal but misleading and advised all road users as well as motorists to disregard the publication as it is not in the interest of the state government.
So there is nobody that can come out and say the emblem will be banned without any amendment of the Constitution. It's only when the Constitution is amended before such things, such ban could be made. And so,
also speaking, the National Vice President of the Tippers Association, Comrade Ezekiel Wire, expressed dismay that people can cook up stories capable of causing confusion in the society.
We don't want problem. We want you to go to the approved centers and get your emblems. We put our emblems the way we see people can buy it. People can buy it, you know. So please, we want you to go to the centers where you know that we sell emblems, the approved emblems, and get your emblems.
Meanwhile, the stakeholders have concluded arrangements for the sale of Ministry of Transport and Works emblems, driver's badges, as well as state clearance certificate in the 3 senatorial districts of the state. While lauding Governor Pabio for transforming the transport sector and the entire state, the body enjoined all motorists and road users to comply with the directive. The state monitoring team there said will commence operations in the 3 senatorial districts on Monday, 2nd February 2015. The Commissioner for Education, Professor Atom Antai, has advised teachers to be more committed to their duties of molding the character of their pupils and students into what is accepted by society, as well as justify huge government investment in the sector. She made the call at the distribution of educational materials donated to public schools in Oborokara by the Permanent Secretary, State Budget Office, Pastor Nicholas Ekarika. Patience John completes the story.
The commissioner, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary in her ministry, Dr. Rosemary Essien, described the donation as a conscious effort to support the free education program of the state government. She advised beneficiaries to make judicious use of the educational materials.
Today's ceremony will go down on record as a landmark in the history of Oborokara. It will indeed be of tremendous benefit to the students, pupils, parents, and the society at large.
The chairman on the occasion, Professor Tony Udosin of the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, advised students to take their studies seriously and to avoid examination malpractices. According to him, they must set goals for themselves in order to have successful future. Professor Udosin noted that Pastor Ekarika's hard work and humility have helped him succeed in his career and thanked him for giving back to society.
And you are a principal here, or a headmaster, and you rather than teach, you prepare your student for the magic exams. I said, you are not doing Oborokara any good. I say repent.
The donor of the educational support materials and the Permanent Secretary, State Budget Office, Pastor Nicholas Ekarika, while acknowledging the blessings of God in his life, said the donation is in fulfillment of his dreams of assisting others, especially the less privileged. An indigene of Abama village in Oborokara local government and a chartered accountant, Pastor Ekarika commended the state governor, whom he said has laid the foundation for the advancement of education in the state by providing good learning environments, the free education program, and the provision of education materials to schools.
This may not be enough for you, but there was something I wanted to do. I said, let me select school. Again, another voice came. He said, select no school. Give to all.
Just were received from the head of State Civil Service, Mrs. Cecilia Odoisien, represented by Mrs. Eno Fiong, the representative of the Commissioner for Justice, the board, Professor Maria Ikorok, the Dean, College of Feminine Secretaries, Mrs. Grace Iwok, Barrister Cosmos Udoite, Nigerian Union of Teachers, Oborokara Chapter, and the representative of traditional rulers in the area.
Because a man, a great departure from the mindset of the people that government only should take care the welfare of the people.
The chairman of Oborokara local government, Prince Idonson Tekbere, welcomed the guests to his domain and emphasized the importance of education describing it as a sure way to development and economic emancipation. The wife of the donor, Glory, thanked God for giving her husband the grace to positively touch people's lives. She said the gesture is in line with her dream. Highlight of the event was the dedication and unveiling of the educational materials, which include 50 customized exercise books, 100 cartons of quality chalk, 100 cartons of biro, 100 cartons of pencils, eraser, and sharpener, among others. A drama sketch to demonstrate the free and compulsory education program of the state and the institution of scholarship for best SS2 students in mathematics from 3 schools representing the 3 clans in Oborokara local governments. Reporting.
The federal government has insisted that commercial banks in the country must comply with its e-collection projects. Christian Kang has these and other reports on our international scene in our foreign news segment.
Commercial banks in Nigeria are to comply with the provisions of the federal government's e-collection project in relation to remittances from its ministries, departments and agencies. At an awareness forum organized in Lagos, Central Director of E-Payments, Dipo Fatogu, assured commercial banks that the rules and responsibilities in the projects will soon be made legitimate. He also noted that the deadline of February 28th for the closure of all the MDA accounts in commercial banks remains intact. As conflict, the European Union has extended current sanctions against Russia in September.
You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45EU or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. That's a package. And before we go, another look at the top stories. President Goodluck Jonathan was in Akwa Ibom yesterday for his presidential campaign rally. President Jonathan had touched down at the Ibom airport at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We also told you that Governor Godswill Akpabio has charged labor leaders to adopt dialogue in settling industrial disputes rather than embark on strikes. That's a package. To have a wonderful day ahead.